state and not to the president, as that ought to be the case in respect of land belonging to a federal government entity in the case of universities, in the case of federal universities.
Akpabio, however, assured that other minor concerns raised will be addressed in due course. And still from the National Assembly has vowed to complete electoral reforms ahead of the off-cycle elections coming up this year. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, gave the assurance on Tuesday, Christmas break. In a brief speech, Akpabio stressed that the foundation of every thriving democracy is viable electoral reforms, adding that it is not just a legislative duty, but a moral imperative. He urges colleagues in the 10th National Assembly to rise up to their responsibility to give to the Nigerian people a system that is transparent, credible, and reflective of their will.
This moment is significant. We are at the end of first quarter of the 21st century, a time that demands bold action and visionary leadership. History is calling on us to make a difference, to write a new narrative for our dear nation, one of progress, justice, and boundless possibilities. So, distinguished colleagues, we must rise to this challenge. Let us be relentless in our pursuit of excellence, fearless in the face of obstacles, and unwavering in our love for our dear nation. Our work here is not just about legislation. It's also about shaping the future of a nation and leaving a legacy for generations yet unborn. As we forge ahead in these words, let these words resonate in our hearts. Nigeria is counting on us. The time to act is now. Let us unite in purpose, strive for the common good, and dedicate ourselves wholly to the task of nation building.
The Senate President further stated that the National Assembly is working assiduously to conclude work on the 2025 Appropriation Bill, which is already before the relevant committees. And still on legislative matters, the Nigerian Senate on Tuesday confirmed the nomination of Mark Okoye and Professor Abdullahi Shehu Magaji for appointment as the Managing Directors and Chief Executive Officers of the Southeast Development Commission and Northwest Development Commission, respectively. The confirmation, which included 34 nominees, took place during resumption of the plenary presided over by President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The confirmations followed the submission of a report by the Ad hoc Committee on Regional Development Commissions, led by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu.
The committee had thoroughly and diligently screened the nominees and found them suitable for the appointment. I hereby recommend for the confirmation of the chairman and members of both Southeast Development Corporation and Northwest Development Corporation.
The report as presented captures the desire of our people, who these people are going to serve in the commission.
Having perused the report, I see that the committee has done a fantastic job. Myself, I am privy to the CVs of Mr. President's nominee. These are outstanding nominees for these boards, and I believe they will do a decent job.
The report indicated that the nominees had demonstrated their capacities to lead the respective commissions during the screening processes.
The chairman is Dr. Emeka Nwogu. Then the MD is Mr. Mark Okoye, Barrister Ugochukwu Agbala, member, Isen Tikbo, member, Chidi Echazu, member, Barrister Ifeanyi Agu, member, Nasiru Usman, member, Hama Adama Adekumo, member, Edward David Onoja, member, Kufre Enima, member, Daniel Aquarian, member, Mrs. Joke Adebayo Chukuma, member. And for the Right Honorable Stanley Ohachuruka is the Executive Director of Finance. Chief Sylvester Okonkwo is the Executive Director Corporate Services. Honorable Toby Okechukwu is the Executive Director Projects. Senator Anthony Agbo is the Executive Director Commercial and Industrial Development. Dr. Clifford Ogbede is the Executive Director Natural Resources, Agriculture and Rural Development. This is directly.
These underwent a screening process by the Senate's ad hoc committees. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll move into stories from the business world. Please stay.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on Lunch Break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.
Dive into the world of innovation and creativity with Rochelle on Anka.
It means art in English.
Where creative minds and groundbreaking ideas come to life. Tune in every weekday at 8 p.m. Do not miss Afia TV Official, your perfect dose of laughter, where they discuss what is currently trending on social media every day at 5:30 p.m. on Afia TV.
But in this economy, the savings will save you, man.
And that's not all. Stay TV channel 17.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
an incompetent means an incompetent person.
Welcome back to the news today. Now on to business news stories. It's reported that Seplat Energy, an independent oil and gas company in Nigeria, has taken over former Mobil headquarters following delayed by state regulators. Recall that the federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, approved the deal in October 2024, and the acquisition was completed in December 2024. However, Seplat has pledged to absorb Mobil Producing Nigeria Unlimited staff into its workforce and maintain a positive impact. And still on business news, but outside Nigeria, the U.S. State Department has approved a $100 million foreign military sale to Zambia for military helicopters and associated logistics support. According to Global Firepower, Zambia is currently ranked 81st in the world for military aircraft strength with a fleet of 77 units. The contract, which designates Bell Textron, based in Fort Worth, Texas, as the primary contractor, will provide Zambia with Bell 412 enhanced performance exportable medium-lift transport helicopters. Furthermore, the sale is designed to enhance Zambia's ability to carry out peacekeeping operations, regional security missions, disaster response efforts, and humanitarian activities, especially across extended distances and in challenging weather conditions. And then we move on to stories from the foreign scene, where it's reported that South Korean investigators have arrested South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol over accusations of insurrection for briefly imposing martial law in a move swiftly overturned by the country's National Assembly. The Deputy Chief of Korea's Corruption Investigation Office, Lee Jong-seong, led questioning of Yoon outside an interrogation room with Yoon's legal representatives present. The CIO said Yoon will be held at Seoul Detention Center following questioning, making Yoon the first South Korean president to be arrested while still in office. In a pre-recorded video message released after his arrest, Yoon said he had made the decision to submit to questioning over his failed martial law bid to avert bloodshed. Meanwhile, the Biden administration has announced plans to remove Cuba from the United States list of state sponsors of terrorism as part of a prisoner release agreement. This move was confirmed by the White House on Tuesday following Cuba's commitment to release 553 prisoners convicted of various offenses. Among those to be freed, it is anticipated that some may include individuals in prison for participating in anti-government protests 4 years ago. In response, Cuba's Ministry of Foreign Affairs described the decision as a step in the right direction, but noted its limited scope. Recall that Cuba was reclassified as a state sponsor of terrorism in 2021 during the final days of Donald Trump's presidency. The designation reinstated restrictions, including a ban on U.S. economic aid and arms export. And finally, from the international scene, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has pledged to take the strongest possible action against Russia if it is confirmed that Russian forces killed a Melbourne school teacher in their captivity in Ukraine. Albanese made the remarks on Wednesday after a report that Oscar Jenkins, who volunteered to fight with Ukrainian forces, was believed to have been killed. Also speaking, the Australian Minister for Foreign Affairs, Penny Wong, noted that officials were making urgent inquiries about Jenkins and all options were being considered in terms of diplomatic response, including the possible expulsion of the Russian ambassador. We'll take a short break. When we return, stories from the sporting scene. Please stay.
My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala.
My name is Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in our market speaking.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Join us on Ghana Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254, and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breastfeeding. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome.
Great to have you rejoin us. Now moving on to the world of sports, it's reported that the Chairman House Committee on Sports, Honorable Kabiru Ahmadu, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on increments of the 2025 budget for sports from 29 billion naira in 2025 to over 94 billion naira. The chairman made this statement on Tuesday when the National Sports Commission, the Nigeria Football Federation and National Institute for Sports defended their 2025 budget before the committee at the National Assembly, Abuja. He promised the National Sports Commission, the Nigeria Football Federation and National Sports Institute of the National Assembly support in making the funds released by the federal government for sports development. And still from the world of sports, Ladan Belso, the president of the Nigeria Football Coaches Association, has expressed his support for Eric Sekou Chile, the newly appointed head coach of the Super Eagles. Belso urged Nigerians to fully support him, highlighting that his success would benefit the entire nation. The Bayelsa United coach commended the vision and leadership of the NFF president Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau and described Chele's appointment as a strategic decision aimed at enhancing Nigerian football. He assured Chele of his unwavering support and pledged to provide the necessary assistance to ensure his success. Meanwhile, with strong backing from the NFF, the coaching community and the Nigerian public, there are high hopes for a successful era under Chele's leadership. And it's time we brought you a special report. As we mark the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, veterans in Enugu State are seeking increased support for retirees and families of the fallen heroes. They share their concerns with Afia TV's correspondent Marvelous Apomaga in this report. Let's take a look.
Today, on Armed Forces Remembrance Day, we reflect not only on the military history, but on the human stories. The fathers, the mothers, the children, and the countless ordinary people whose lives were forever changed by the war. On this day, 55 years ago, the Nigerian Civil War, one of the most tragic conflicts in Nigeria's history, came to an end. But for many, the war did not truly end that day. The pain, the loss, and the scars of the conflict remain. In honor of the day, Afia TV visited the Nigerian Legion, Enugu State, to interview some retirees on the significance of the Nigerian Civil War and ways to better commemorate our fallen heroes. Dr. Emeka Igwesi, the Assistant Commandant General, Enugu State Chairman and Commander of the Nigerian Legion, emphasized that the relationship between the military and civilians has significantly improved over time. He also remarked that a week-long celebration is insufficient to truly honor the memory of the fallen heroes.
First of all, the celebration of Armed Forces Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth was not being done in January 15. It was being done in November 11. The name is always 11/11 or Poppy Day. But Nigeria decided, because of the civil war, the end of the civil war, to now change the date to 15th January. So in Nigeria, we are also commemorating also the end of the civil war and then other wars in which Nigeria has been involved. So this day is very, very significant because it shows a lot of, it carries a lot of messages, messages of peace, the need for security, the need for oneness, the need that we should all think the best way, the better way to make the country succeed and move for the betterment of everybody, all sectors being happy, everybody being happy for this country to be one. All hands on deck, including the efforts of the government, the efforts of Nigerians also, to make this country work for the betterment of the nation. Yes, it's a very... Armed Forces Remembrance Day period is not enough. It is not enough for the purpose of remembering our nation's fallen heroes. There should be other programs, other policies that should be existing also with respect to seeing the well-being of these categories of persons, not just during Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
DSC Chigozie Ajibo Emmanuel of the Nigerian Legion Corps expressed his excitement for the day's celebration. He emphasized the need for the government to do more in taking care of retired soldiers.
I feel so excited celebrating today with the fallen heroes, which have served the country gallantly, though some are still alive and some have gone. So it's today that we celebrate them for their gallant service to the nation. I want the government to support and provide the needs of the fallen heroes. Some died in active service. Their wives should not be forgotten. And some that have served, some lost their sight, some lost their leg, some lost the part of their body, which they are disabled. So government should put more effort on them to try to help them, to alleviate them from the poverty.
Dr. Igwesi expressed his gratitude to the president and the governor of Enugu State. He also called on them to establish welfare and programs for retirees and the families of war victims.
Their welfare, their entitlements, and all other welfare programs should be introduced. Then the widows, the dependents, all those who are victims of war due to the demise of their breadwinners, there should be programs towards integrating them. Then the living heroes, also there should be programs. They should be keyed in, they should be gotten involved in a series of activities of governments. Even in the area of security, a good number of them are still very young and strong. Even some of them attended several courses, cadre courses. Some of them are well educated also. Their services, the knowledge, the specialized knowledge they got in the past, they are still there. Those knowledge, you cannot just get them anywhere. So we should tap from those knowledge they have gotten in the past. We should tap from them also in so many areas. We shouldn't forget about them. They are very useful in the novel civil society and in the governance, in the civil governance going on now.
Chief Ken Agu, a retired Nigerian Navy officer, called on the government to do more for the families of fallen heroes and retirees.
Government should find a way to give them education like scholarship, you know, and help them in their medical bills like the NHIS scheme. There's a limitation to what they can do for those people. So they have to improve in providing medical support for those orphans and those widows of the military. Then they should also devise a way to involve them in agricultural production and processing, because there's a lot of hunger in the country. And if they can be assisted in agricultural processing and agricultural production, it will ameliorate the effect of hunger within them, you know. So that is it. And another thing is trying to explore a way to let them assess those widows and the orphans. Let them assess the post-housing scheme. We have a post-housing scheme program. But most of these retirees, they are still paying rent. They don't have houses. So the government should allocate those post-housing to them because they have not been constructed. I know due to the corruption in our land and stuff, they don't construct those post-housing for retirees. So even if they get the land, they can have an interface with banks on a mortgage basis. They can build those houses for them and it will benefit them. And most of the entitlements of the retirees are not being paid promptly. You can see that we had a protest sometime because of unpaid entitlements. You know, security department allowance. This is the money paid to retirees to stop them from using the training and the experience they have in the military against the society or being used by unscrupulous citizens to perpetrate maybe terrorism or kidnapping or robbery, you know. So they should pay those retirees promptly. And palliative, since they started paying this palliative inception of this Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they have not paid any palliative to these military retirees, and it's too bad. And also in the medical aspect, they should also enhance their access to medical facilities and medical programs. And also in developed nations, they used to give 30% rebates. If you want to buy tickets as a retiree, they give you 30%. Some things, if you go shopping, they remove 30% for you. They should also reciprocate such in our own military over here. It will help us in the long run.
Over 3 million lives were lost, countless families shattered, and a nation forever altered. But amidst the grief and devastation, there are also stories of resilience, survival, and a will to rebuild. The war may have ended on January 15th, 1970, but for many, the journey of healing continues. In Enugu, Marvelous Abuamaga reporting for Afia TV.
Thank you, Marvelous, for that report. And well, to add the news, here's a reminder of our top stories. We're about to report that President Tinubu has rejected a bill to establish the Federal University of Education in Numan. And in business today, Seplat has taken over former Mobile following a $1.2 billion acquisition. And in foreign scene, we're told that Biden has planned to remove Cuba from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism. And that's the size of the package on the news today. Thank you for staying with us. To follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I am Ubong Kings. Many thanks for watching.
This was a broadcast of Major General Philip Effiong signaling a ceasefire of the now 30-month-old Nigerian civil war.
When the coup happened, 15th of January 1966, I was practicing law in Lagos.
Since the British gave the Nigerian politicians our independence, instead of doing the right thing, they continued going the other way around.
All our teachers were white, and they said, please, let there be no war. You have not experienced war. We have seen war. War is not your good.
The Anyoma people are the ones who bore the greater brunt of the civil war.
The climax
for me was when 30,000 Easterners who were trying to get home from the north were knifed and killed at Kano Airport.
On the 24th of January, Alhaji Sule Katagum, chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, published detailed guidelines for the reabsorption of former Biafran civil servants into the federal, East Central, Southeastern, and River State civil services.
People were being tried and,